Congressman Adam Smith is a Democrat of Washington State and also the ranking member on the House Armed Services Committee, and he knows a thing or two about budgets in the Pentagon. He joins me now. Congressman, good to have you.
Good to see you, Chris. Thanks for the chance.
So let's just start with that number. The $25 billion sounded low to me. It's lower than what the estimate was to begin with. They were talking about $200 billion. Are people right to be skeptical that that's the actual figure?
100%. I mean, and there's two layers to this. One is just the actual costs to the Pentagon of this war, and that's munitions expended. That's the operations and maintenance cost of having, I think we're up to 60,000 of our U.S. forces in the region, countless ships, all that goes into that. One thing really undercounted in that is equipment that's been destroyed. We know that we lost two C-130s during the rescue mission for our downed airmen in Iran. Those are like $110 million a copy. Plus, we've seen a lot of damage at just about every single base that we have in the Middle East. Radars destroyed, planes destroyed in some cases. So the cost there is much higher, but the truly staggering cost of this is the broader economic cost. We certainly see that in the price of oil here, but globally. We are talking about reductions in GDP for several dozens of countries. It's having a profound economic cost. I mean, gas now, I saw in Washington State's up over $6 a gallon. So that cost, and economists will be better at that than I am, that cost is probably in the hundreds of billions, if not trillions, and the actual cost of the Pentagon's pushing up close to $100 billion right now. And as you well know, this is very, very far from being over.
Wait, you just said a number. You think again, what would sort of distinguish between what we call maybe direct budgetary costs and indirect costs. But you think direct budgetary costs, that number is closer to 100 billion than 25.
Sure. I mean, going back, I mean, they told us, I think a week or two into it, that it was like somewhere between $1 and $2 billion a day. All right. And the bombing campaign went on for what, like 40 days, roughly, something like that. And that didn't count the destroyed equipment or, again, the operation and maintenance costs that have gone on even during the ceasefire. And also we have expended munitions during said ceasefire as well. Yes. So, yeah, you're probably pushing up close to 100 billion.
You mentioned the economic cost, which is the sort of other category, which is a larger category, and it also hits more people. You know, the gas price today, we've got the national average at $4.54 a gallon. A week ago, you can see it was $4.39. So like that keeps going up. It was $2.98 at the start of the war. The New York Times reporting today that Shell reported a nearly $7 billion profit among unprecedented disruption. It does seem like if there's cost for lots of people, the oil companies are going to like be printing money. And I do wonder if there's some windfall profits tax or something where there's some movement between their windfall profits and everyone else's costs.
I mean, there should be. Look, I mean, I could go off down a rabbit hole of the something for nothing nature of American politics that Trump has dove right in. He's promising free stuff to everybody. I mean, they criticize Mondani in New York for it. No one has given away more money for nothing than Donald Trump. So, yes, the economic unreasonableness of starting a war and doing all this other stuff while cutting taxes all over the place. But there's two other important pieces to this. You focused on the cost. But, you know, what the Trump administration has tried to say is, yeah, but think of the benefit. But the problem is their benefit is assuming Iran had a nuclear weapon, which they didn't, by the way, and somehow what he's doing now and all of this cost is making it less likely that they will, when the exact opposite is true. OK, they didn't have a nuclear weapon, and now they're off the negotiating table, and they've found a leverage point, and that leverage point is the Strait of Hormuz. So right now, all this fight over getting in negotiations, and you're absolutely right, Trump is lying about this every other day, and I can't believe that Wall Street and the media keep falling for it. I mean, it's Lucy, Charlie Brown, and the football every single day. We have a deal. Iran is capitulating. No, they're not. Every single day, it seems like Trump gets away with saying that. They're not. What Iran is saying right now is pay us to open the Strait. OK, so basically at this point, the benefit is just trying to get back to where we were when the war started and for the Strait being open. And now we're going to have to pay, or someone's going to have to pay Iran to do this. Now, Trump's argument is if we just keep the pressure up, if we just keep the blockade up, then eventually Iran will cave. But there's a CIA analysis just came out in the paper saying that's months. All right. That's months before they would cave. And then the whole rest of the world is paying for our war. And they're going to be more inclined to be supportive of Iran because of that, and also because of something that I heard Admiral McCraven say incredibly well at a dinner I was at in Los Angeles last week. Meanwhile, we are insulting, humiliating, belittling, and pushing away all of our allies and even our non-allies in the world so that they're not sympathetic to us. So how are we going to hold that pressure on Iran when Trump is making the whole rest of the world hate us?
Congressman Adam Smith, who's ranking member of the House Armed Services Committee. Thanks for your time tonight, sir.
Thanks, Chris.
Still ahead, while Republicans try to hold control by any means necessary,